51-45 is the final. Michigan loses to TCU in the 2023 Fiesta Bowl College Football Playoff, Sam. There's not a lot of words to describe this. I think disappointment is number one. Lost opportunities, turnovers, squandered scoring opportunities, more lost opportunities. I'm going to give you the floor. This is up there as one of the most disappointing losses in recent memory.
Yeah, it's disappointing because Michigan didn't play its best game. And that, when I say that, that's not meant to take away credit from TCU, because they won every aspect of this game. From execution on the field, they ran the football better than Michigan. It's not something that I would have expected coming in. You know, I thought that their plan to attack Michigan on the ground was sound. Meanwhile, Michigan's plan to attack them on the ground didn't work. So you got to give them a coaching edge in that regard. You look at the number of mistakes that Michigan made in this game. TCU took better care of the football. I know they had some errors too, but I mean, it was pick sixes for Michigan.
That's a difference in the game there.
Those are crushers for sure, and the ability to really burn the blitz. I mean, defense was making some plays early on, but as the game went on, it became more TCU's game. It became a Big 12 game. It became a Big 12 game, and this was why it was so important to establish yourself on the ground. So again, I want to give credit to TCU.
Absolutely.
They outplayed Michigan. They out-executed. They out-coached. Everything that you want to give them credit for, I want to give them credit before I start talking about what Michigan didn't do. So nothing is confusing, like I'm taking credit away from TCU. I'm not. But Michigan had the ball inside the five-yard line twice.
4 times total.
Well, I'm talking about twice early in the game.
Right.
Early in the game. It came away with 0 points. The first play call, Jim said he takes full responsibility to the Philly special, which I don't even, for me, I don't get caught up in criticizing a trick play when it doesn't work, right? I guess for me, in that particular instance, I want a regular ball, preferably J.J. McCarthy, with the ball in his hands on some. If there's some kind of trickeration, have it be JJ being the trigger man, or there being more than one option, or at the very least, an instruction to the guy who has the ball to, no matter what, throw it up in the end zone, right? But there wasn't even an option for that play to work. Then you have another instance, and that was just kind of an out of character play for this team, right? Then you had the one going the other way where big momentum play. I don't think the touchdown should have been taken off the board.
No, that was a touchdown.
It was a touchdown. It's a big play that they took off the board. Still, you get at the 1 yard line, you're supposed to punch that in. You should score. And, again, Michigan shooting itself in the foot. And so those were glaring. Those were 2 big examples, the 2 pick sixes. But then there were the errors in between along the way. The costly penalties. I remember there was a second down where there was a false start, put them behind the sticks, and now they're second and 13, and they get knocked off the field. You had all the run-throughs by their linebackers. So, they were mistargeting their front time and time again, where they were getting clean shots, and not just on pass plays, but on run plays too, where this Michigan just didn't play the kind of clean football that we're accustomed to them playing. So those are things, some of those things are within your control that you just messed up. The part where TCU just got them, what do we talk about all week long about running the football on this team? I was convinced that Michigan could run the football on TCU to the perimeter.
Right, they just ran it up the middle the whole game.
Attacking the edge. Well, in the second half, they started attacking the edge.
A little bit of RPO but
they started attacking the edge. The counter play was big, attacking it with JJ running the football. But early in the game, they were trying to hit this team in the middle. They thought that they could muscle the 3 down guys. They thought they could push TCU around up the middle, and they were wrong. Period. Now, that's less about, to me, it's less about scheming. I think it's a miscalculation about who you're playing on the other side. Because here, for teams ran very successful. You look at Kansas State and Baylor, we were talking about, they ran very successfully against TCU. Oklahoma, counterplay. The counter at the start, they had a counter OT in the first half, hit for 8 yards. The counter, it was a QB counter. The JJ, counter OT, QB counter OT. That scored a touchdown. That was a successful play for Oklahoma, too. What's the common theme, though? They're hitting to the outside. The reverse to Roman, hitting to the outside. I'm wrapping it up. My point is, no one was running on TCU inside.
They got out coached in that, man.
No one was running the ball on TCU inside. Michigan thought they could. They were wrong.
Right.
And so what happens is when you don't establish the run like we're accustomed to them establishing it, now you get in a game where you are controlling it enough to keep that offense off the field. Because we said, look, Max Duggan is a ball player. They got playmakers on that side of the field. Part of keeping that offense in check is keeping it off the field, and they weren't able to do that. Credit to Michigan for never quitting, never letting the big momentum swings knock them out of the game. Problem is, every time they made a big play, TCU came right back and made a big play. So you got to give them credit. It's a tough one to swallow.
Michigan's offense, 39 second half points, but like you said, TCU's offense. Every time Michigan scored, TCU had an answer. It's usually a big play on third down, and they came in this game leading the country with 50-yard plays on offense, and they proved that was legit. So you got to tip your hat to TCU's offense, and they found every time they would find the hole in Michigan's defense. They always found it, and they had some ball players on that side of the football. Yeah. Michigan will look back at this game as a lost opportunity. I think you're always going to look at that touchdown. Was it a touchdown?
It was a touchdown. It was a touchdown.
And again, obviously the last play of the game, that was targeting, but you don't want it to come down to that. I get it that the refs don't want to make that call. I get it. But the fact of the matter is, this one's going to stink for a while, folks.
Duggan, I see people in the comments saying Duggan didn't do anything. He extended drives.
Duggan did
He
enough,
made plays.
But Michigan got 2 interceptions. They got a fumble. They made some. They created opportunities for the offense as well.
And this is the other thing. See, he ran it enough. He extended enough plays. And now you're worried about him. So what does that do? Now it opens up the running back for big plays. Yeah. So, yes, he did do something. He established himself as a huge threat in the run game, and it opened up the whole damn thing. Yep. And so they outrushed Michigan in this game. I don't know anyone who predicted TCU would come into this game and win the rushing battle. And they did so decisively. So give them credit for that. And I think it's predicated on the threat that Max Duggan established himself at. And their front. Give their front credit. Because they pushed Michigan around up front, son.
Yeah, they created more pressure. I thought Michigan needed to create more pressure on the defense side of the ball. They really didn't, and then they got caught with their pants down on some of those blitzes from the secondary, and they caught that big play. Receiver Quentin Johnson, big plays. He looked like a legitimate NFL talent. He's going to make some team happy, and he really did. He really made Michigan pay today. Man,
it's a tough one to swallow because they didn't play their best ball. You feel like they were capable of winning this game. But there's too many mistakes. At the end of the day,
too many.
The strategy pieces of it that they could have over, yes, they wish they could have those back, but you make one less mistake, and it's a different game. Too many mistakes in this game. It was the most mistake-ridden game of the season for Michigan.
In recent memory, and then they still had a chance to win, which was crazy. But, Sam, I know we could talk about this, break it down for the rest of the night. And I think a lot of people are going to break this down in their heads for at least another 12 months. Maybe 9 months until the season starts. But hey, it's always been a pleasure, my friend. Another season in the books.
Yes, it is.
But again, stay for our coverage and more for Sam Webb. I'm Josh Newkirk for the MichiganInsider.com.